First initial homes, like seeing the before and afters with my own eyes. I had heard about Keith and Evan. I had read about them before I even met them, what they were doing in Detroit and before they were on TV. But seeing it for myself from a home to go from disaster to delightful, it literally brought tears to my eyes because being in real estate for so long and working with investors and seeing investor flips, to see the amount of love and care that they put into these homes, the level of detail to make these homes beautiful for first-time buyers in these neighborhoods, and then also to see how television works.
Yes.
That's just been the most amazing part, to see like
Sorrow overshadowed what appeared to be joy. This is not merely a real estate agent's story. Fans were moved to tears by the incident, a tale about representation and thankfulness. Many people come and go in the television industry, but sometimes people leave behind more than just memories. For 5 remarkable years, Shea Whitfield was a bright star on HGTV's Bargain Block, adding warmth, charm, and genuineness to each episode. In addition to the homes and designs, her soft spirit drew viewers in. Shea has taken a step back to consider her path and remind everyone why she was so significant as the beloved series approaches its final season. It all began when Shea shared a personal story with her supportive Instagram followers while remaining composed and grinning. She spoke from the heart rather than from a script or notes. She asked her followers if they had time to hear her narrative at the beginning of her message. The farewell wasn't as emotional as some TV personalities might make it. It was genuine and relatable instead. Her first words were ones of gratitude. She described the people who had been following Bargain Block from the start, those who had helped her, those who had written to her, and those who had had the opportunity to meet her. These interactions weren't unimportant to Shea. She characterized them as times when she felt as if she were watching from a distance, unable to understand the true affection people felt for her. She chose to share a story about one interaction in particular, since it had a special place in her heart among all of her encounters. One day, she recalled, she was showing potential purchasers a suburban home. It was an ordinary real estate workday. Calm, reliable, nothing exceptional. An automobile, however, slowed down close to her. Leaning out, a woman from the driver's seat called out her name. She was curious if she was she from the sitcom she liked. She acknowledged that she was Shea with a smile that was familiar. What happened next elevated this routine exchange to a unique one. The mom claimed that Shea herself was the reason her daughter enjoyed the show, not simply the homes or the designs. Then, an 11-year-old girl stepped out of the car as the door opened. When the young girl first saw she was ecstatic. She knelt down to speak with her because she saw Shea not just as a TV personality, but as someone she wanted to be like. I appreciate her support, even though the concert is mostly intended for adults. When she saw a young fan who adored the show, she was taken aback and moved. Shea was profoundly affected by what the girl's mother said. She was informed that her daughter looked up to her, was inspired by her on TV, and now wanted to pursue a career in real estate as a result. She held these words, as well as another fact that had an even greater impact on her, close to her heart. She saw that the girl looked like a younger version of herself, a girl who was 11 years old. It was a deep connection rather than only adoration. Shea realized then how important it was to be on television. It was crucial to be represented, particularly so that children might see someone who looked like them pursuing their goals. Young girls needed to know that they were seen, that their goals were attainable, and that they had a lot of chances ahead of them. This wasn't only a pleasant occasion or a casual narrative. It was the main idea of Shea's farewell letter. She stressed to her supporters the value of representation. That was what she mostly wished to say. That was the legacy she wanted to leave behind. Her message was especially powerful because it was delivered at the same time as Bargain Block's renewal for a second season was announced. Fans were devastated by this revelation and instantly felt empty. Many saw the cancellation as more than just a TV program ending. It felt similar to losing a familiar and beloved location. Bargain Block's cancellation was also a part of HGTV's tendency of canceling different programming. People's unhappiness and displeasure over the program's cancellations caused disappointment to spread on social media. Many viewers expressed their personal significance for the shows. Parents stressed how important it is for their kids to watch successful people who resemble them on television. Some expressed disapproval of the network and demanded that more varied voices and stories be featured. Shea's assertion that representation is essential and not merely a trendy term was supported by other HGTV celebrities. Support was shown by Ty Pennington, who is well known for his amiable manner on Rock the Block. She emphasized the importance of sharing a variety of tales, and Egypt, whose show Married to Real Estate had recently concluded, concurred. Stories and voices came together on the platform to honor Shea's comments and say goodbye to the beloved show. She does not consider her quest to be over after Bargain Block ends. She didn't feel resentful when she said goodbye. She had hope. The message she delivered will have an impact even though there are no new episodes and no cameras are currently filming. As they relive their favorite moments and recall the show's lessons, fans will continue to watch previous episodes. Most significantly, though, they will be reminded of the value of representation and aware that younger generations are taking notice. Her account of the young girl was not about a single fan, rather. It was a metaphor for something greater. It was about all the kids who watch TV and wished they could fit in with the worlds they saw. It was about the necessity for children to have faith that their aspirations can be realized. Shea's on-screen persona serves as a reminder that people can achieve their goals. People were moved by her farewell letter since it was heartfelt, encouraging, and full of emotion. Her employment wasn't the only thing at stake. It was about the beneficial effects her presence had on other people. She became aware that she had become more than just a host when she engaged with the young girl. She had come to represent possibilities and hope. When Bargain Block ends, fans will be unhappy. However, Shea's impact will endure beyond the conclusion of the show. Now that her legacy has a message that can be shared and recalled, it will have greater impact. In addition to her crucial message that representation matters, people will recall her narrative of a young girl and how she saw herself in that child's eyes. There are some aspects about television that never change, even though networks and series change frequently. The importance of representation, the sense of inspiration, and the appreciation are everlasting. Shea Whitfield's experience on Bargain Block demonstrates that the impact of a person's presence endures long after the TV has gone off. Fans can't wait to see what Shea does next. They think that whatever she decides on will possess the same sincerity and integrity that she has consistently shown. They will treasure the final present mom gave them in the meanwhile. An account of a young girl's experiences that serves as a reminder that every child has the right to have their wishes fulfilled. Every time the dance ended, the Bargain Block set was alive with excitement, laughter, and unique moments that united everyone. On and off camera, it was like a family. The essence of those moments persisted even as the show was ending. One of the show's most well-liked stars, Shea Hicks-Whitfield, decided to share a memory that emphasized the incredible experience. She posted an old video from the season 4 filming to her Instagram on Friday, September 5. She, Keith Binham, Evan Thomas, and the hard-working team transformed a typical workday into something extraordinary in the video. Everyone began dancing happily as soon as the music began to play. It had not been planned. There were only sincere joys and no rehearsals. Shea thanked her friends, co-workers, and supporters for their steadfast support in a kind and heartfelt manner. She was grateful to everyone who attended her impromptu dance parties, brightened her days, and made work enjoyable. Above all, she was appreciative of the devoted audience that had continued to watch throughout the years. Her comment is a charming reminder that Bargain Block's real value extends beyond its homes, layouts, and remodeling projects. It is in the connection that people have with one another. The intimacy between she, Keith, and Evan was captured on camera. Shea's cheerful demeanor was reflected in her light pink top, slacks, and floral boots. As the crew joined in on the excitement, she danced with Keith and Evan. There was no other reason for them to be together but to celebrate. While filming an episode that aired on September 3rd, the dancing sequence was shot. Keith and Evan were remodeling a Detroit Art Deco house in that episode. She showed them the pre-renovated house wearing the same dress she wore during the dance. Fans expressed their affection for She in the comments section of her article, linking the recollection to the program that viewers watched. A number of people said they would really miss the show. One admirer expressed their excitement for Shea's next endeavors. According to another fan, the show was like family to them. They believed that there was more to the work in Detroit than merely home repair. The goal was community revitalization. Some even went so far as to say that Bargain Block was the best HGTV program ever. They liked that, instead of depending on needless drama, it concentrated on reviving communities and having a genuine impact. The cancellation of the show shocked a lot of fans. In order to preserve the show's powerful message, they hope that another network will decide to air it. Known for being candid with fans, Keith Bingham previously talked about the ending's development in June. In December, the 5th season received approval. Everyone was thrilled as plans and ideas were formed. But the ruling was overturned in February, and the event was canceled. Keith was disappointed, but he was honest about it. A number of HGTV renovation shows were canceled, including the TV series Bargain Block. Battle on the Beach, Izzy Does It, and Married to Real Estate were among the other programs that ended. These series fans felt as though they were bidding farewell to a cherished storytelling form. Keith revealed his emotions on Instagram in July. He talked about how eager he was to see the last episode. It would probably be emotional, he admitted, but it would also be a new beginning. He, Shea, and Evan were ready for the next phase of their lives, Keith stressed. For them, the conclusion signified a fresh start in addition to closure. They knew there could be excitement in the unknown future. Keith gave it some more thinking in August. He expressed gratitude that they were able to wrap up their tenure on HGTV with a successful conclusion. They experienced despair, frustration, and fury at times, but they had no say in ending the show. The unwavering love of their supporters got them through it all. Keith, Evan, and Shea were inspired to move on from a challenging circumstance by the fact that so many people shared their concern and were as distressed as they were. A glimmer of optimism appeared. For the actors and crew, Bargain Block held great significance. For them, it was more than just a television program. It was a story of imagination, fortitude, and passion. Detroit was more than a scene. It was the focal point of the performance. Every home that Keith and Evan remodeled embodied the spirit of a town, the spirit of a neighborhood, and the promise of a fresh start for families. Every home tour and conversation was made more pleasant by Shea's vivacious demeanor and concern for others. Together, they encouraged the audience to see the positive side of every circumstance. Shea shared an old dancing video, But it wasn't simply for fun while it was being made. It represented finding happiness in the face of adversity, such as pressing deadlines. It proved that friendship and optimism can win over in any circumstance. A deep connection was evident in the fan feedback. They were not merely spectators. They were regarded as members of the Bargain Block clan. They were moved by the dedication to bettering neighborhoods, loved the show, and valued the adjustments. They were excited to see what would happen to the characters they had grown to love as the last season drew to a close. Evan's composure, Keith's sentiments, and Shea's gratitude painted a clear picture. It was the conclusion of Bargain Block, but it wasn't a goodbye. It was merely a rest before the next major adventure. Their quest would continue, perhaps in a different format or on a different TV channel, but always with the same fervor that made the program special. Viewers had a range of emotions as the final episodes were presented. Knowing that something great was coming to an end, they felt both happy and sad. They were nevertheless proud. I'm pleased of the team's achievements, the good influence they had on Detroit, and the way they finished the show with grace, honor, and love. Change was always at the heart of the Bargain Block show. Viewers witnessed not only renovations, but also a message of optimism as abandoned homes were given new life and peaceful streets were brimming with possibilities. Even when the performance ended, this message remained. Her dance was the ideal representation of everything. It was a happy moment that demonstrated their teamwork. The parting was full of joy, gratitude, and the promise of fresh starts. The tale of little but resilient baby Bows. Shea Hicks-Whitfield's tale of unending love, resiliency, and sorrow for her baby boy. When the second season of HGTV's Bargain Block was being filmed, viewers were excited to follow Shea's pregnant journey. She worked closely with presenters Evan Thomas and Keith Bingham during this time, and her presence was radiant as she carried her pregnant child. The news of her baby's birth was anxiously awaited by viewers, adding even more happiness to the tale of a beloved cast member. She and her husband, Terry Whitfield, finally experienced their long-awaited moment in the summer of 2022 when they received their son, Beau James, on July 29. As they held their newborn for the first time, their hearts were bursting with happiness. They announced the safe delivery of baby B, who weighed 7 pounds and 15 ounces, on Instagram a few days later, on August 4. They celebrated the new life in their family and had a day filled of joy and smiles. In addition to their joy, the new parents were given some unsettling news. That same day, they let everyone know how happy they were. Their little flawless boy was going through a difficult fight that would try their fortitude and emotions. A few weeks later, on September 30th, Shea courageously posted a video of baby B and a cute family photo with her community. Beau was seen making soft noises while he slept soundly in his cot. She also offered some words to discuss the challenges they were facing. With late-night feedings, a mountain of small baby clothing in the laundry, and many sleepless nights. She described being a parent as an emotional roller coaster. Beau made it all worthwhile in spite of the difficulties. He was their blessing, their priceless little angel, an unexpected present they didn't know they needed, but now found impossible to live without. She then broke the heartbreaking news that, only 5 days after becoming parents, their newborn son had been diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Langerhans cell histiocytosis, LCH, which only affects a few hundred infants annually, was present in baby Beau at birth. With this prognosis, their beloved rainbow baby joined a small, regrettable club of kids who had to fight a hard struggle from the beginning. An overabundance of Langerhans cells in the body results in LCH, a complicated disorder. The skin typically contains these cells to protect against toxins and diseases. Overproduction of these cells, however, may cause them to gather in inappropriate locations throughout the body. Serious health problems, tumor development, and tissue damage may arise from this. The cells can travel to other organs, such as the skin, lymph nodes, liver, spleen, lungs, and even the brain, even though they mostly gather in bones. She expressed gratitude for the care and support they received, but she could not provide detailed details regarding the severity of Bose's illness. They had a community that offered love, prayers, and words of support, as well as knowledgeable physicians and compassionate nurses. She noted that their experience was not unique to them. Rather, it was a part of a broader narrative that involved several families around the country who were coping with children cancer. She explained that they made the decision to raise awareness of the children who receive cancer diagnoses every day because Childhood Cancer Awareness Month was coming to an end. Every day, 43 kids in the U.S. receive this transformative news. By sharing their story, she hoped to inspire prayers for impacted families, promote support for treatment and research, and increase awareness. Baby B was wearing a tiny onesie with the words "Hope and Strength" on it in the video she posted online. His suit was printed with the words "Tiny but Tough," which became a representation of his struggle. This statement demonstrated his strong spirit despite his diminutive size. Support poured in from all directions shortly after Shea's post. By the article, giving sincere remarks, and praying for the young child and his parents. Many people showed their love. Additionally, the HGTV family demonstrated their concern and support. Egypt. Sheard, who was wedded to real estate, offered prayers and consoling words. Jenny Mars, who went from fixer to fantastic, expressed her sorrow and prayed for Bose's healing. Because of Shea's hard work and compassionate personality, the other hosts gathered up to show their love and appreciation for her. Supportive remarks for Baby Bo were posted by fans. They described him as perfect, strong, and able to prevail in this conflict. His parents, Shea and Terry, received encouraging notes from others, informing them that they were not alone and that many people were thinking of them. After learning the news, many fans expressed their sorrow, but promised to keep praying for Bose's healing and his family's fortitude. The affection that was given was tremendous. It showed how a single family's tale could have such a profound impact on so many individuals. It became more than just the Whitfields' experience. Everyone who read about them, saw their video, or prayed for their child found a connection with it. They stressed the significance of spreading awareness about children cancer while coping with their son's illness. Street, according to Jude's Children's Research Hospital, each kid may respond differently to LCH treatment. Some people may recover without requiring extensive medical care, while others may require chemotherapy or surgery. However, because LCH can impact many organs and systems in the body, children with the condition frequently require regular expert monitoring. Bo's future was uncertain, but every time his parents cared for him, he knew they loved him without conditions. They demonstrated how much they cared by feeding him, changing his diapers, and staying up all night. How courageous Shea and Terry were to embark on this difficult path. Despite their inner feelings of fear and optimism during every event, Baby B was the center of attention. He was a little boy with bright eyes and a strong personality who demonstrated to everyone that strength is not a function of size. His most recent and precious life turned into a source of motivation. His battle served as a reminder of love, tenacity, and the importance of supporting families facing comparable difficulties. In addition to describing challenging times, Bo James's account also highlights a strong sense of community among individuals. In order to help others, the family decides to share their experience of coping with a rare sickness. The narrative highlights the several people who demonstrated compassion, understanding, and support. It centers on a small child who, in spite of his youth, inspired courage and hope in many. With the support of others, love, and faith, the Whitfields continued their journey over time. Parenthood gave them resilience, even though it was not what they had expected. Their boy was small, but he was powerful, and everyone who supported him was motivated by his strength. Beau's parents were soothed by his presence when he was soundly sleeping in his incubator. Every voice, grin, and breath he made reminded them that he was more than a diagnosis. He was an angel, a lighthouse, and a priceless gift to his parents. The realtor who opted for love and strength. Shea Hicks-Whitfield lives in the heart of Detroit, Michigan, and her life is a jumble of happiness and grief, success and hardship, light and dark. Many people know Shea as the upbeat real estate agent from HGTV's Bargain Block who finds promise in dilapidated houses. To others, however, she is a wife, mother, and survivor who has bravely gotten through difficult circumstances. Her path encompasses themes of love, loss, hope, and the strength of family in addition to real estate. Through commitment, tenacity, and almost 2 decades of expertise, Shea has made a name for herself in the real estate sector. She was up in Detroit and has a strong bond with its streets and neighborhoods. As a registered realtor who began her work at the Loft Warehouse, she had a deep understanding of the importance of housing in people's lives. For her, a house is more than just a building. It is a place where families build their legacy, laugh together, and make memories. Her skill and knowledge grew over time, and she finally rose to prominence as a Detroit real estate agent. Her efforts were rewarded when she was cast on HGTV's hit program, Bargain Block. She worked alongside Evan Thomas and Keith Binham, who were renowned for their abilities to transform run-down houses into beautiful ones. They came together as a close-knit group of people who were passionate about transforming run-down buildings into something truly remarkable. Evan provided his skills in carpentry and construction, while Keith used his imaginative creativity to design. She contributed her knowledge of pricing, relationships with local neighborhoods in Detroit, and ability to assist families in locating their ideal houses. They collaborated effectively, completing each other's gaps and producing something amazing. Bargain Block was more than just a project to Shea. She used it as an opportunity to highlight and honor Detroit, her hometown. She was able to prove on the show that just as people can overcome obstacles and recover, so dilapidated homes can be repaired. Every home that Keith, Evan, and she renovated turned into a potent representation of tenacity and fortitude. Although Shea appeared happy on film, she was actually going through much more serious personal issues than what the audience could see. Shea's life took a drastic turn in August 2022 when she gave birth to her son, Beau James. As she held her baby for the first time, she was ecstatic to become a mother. Dreams of the future filled her heart at this time. 5 days later, though, her happiness was tested in a way she never imagined was possible. B was diagnosed with Langerhans cell histiocytosis, a rare form of cancer that only a few youngsters get each year. No woman can fully prepare for the trauma of hearing this prognosis soon after giving birth. Her entire world stopped, and Shea's heart broke. Despite his diminutive size, Beau possessed an adventurous nature. He showed his strength from the beginning. He inspired others around him with his incredible bravery in the face of testing, treatments, and numerous trips to the doctor. They came together as a close-knit group of people who were passionate about transforming run-down buildings into something truly remarkable. Evan provided his skills in carpentry and construction, while Keith used his imaginative creativity to design. She contributed her knowledge of pricing, relationships with local neighborhoods in Detroit, and ability to assist families in locating their ideal houses. They collaborated effectively, completing each other's gaps and producing something amazing. Bargain Block was more than just a project to Shea. She used it as an opportunity to highlight and honor Detroit, her hometown. She was able to prove on the show that just as people can overcome obstacles and recover, so dilapidated homes can be repaired. Every home that Keith, Evan, and she renovated turned into a potent representation of tenacity and fortitude. Although Shea appeared happy on film, she was actually going through much more serious personal issues than what the audience could see. Shea's life took a drastic turn in August 2022 when she gave birth to her son, Bo James. As she held her baby for the first time, she was ecstatic to become a mother. Dreams of the future filled her heart at this time. 5 days later, though, her happiness was tested in a way she never imagined was possible. B was diagnosed with Langerhans cell histiocytosis, a rare form of cancer that only a few youngsters get each year. No woman can fully prepare for the trauma of hearing this prognosis soon after giving birth. Her entire world stopped, and Shea's heart broke. Despite his diminutive size, Bo possessed an adventurous nature. He showed his strength from the beginning. He inspired others around him with his incredible bravery in the face of testing, treatments, and numerous trips to the doctor. Bo accomplished the seemingly impossible in just 6 months. He overcame cancer. He demonstrated that even the smallest people may have great bravery. On social media, she shared images and videos from her son Bo's life. The innocence and brightness of B's lovely photos won over many people's hearts. In addition to highlighting the difficulties her son encountered, Shea's sharing of these experiences demonstrated the beauty and strength of resiliency, the existence of hope even in the face of adversity, and the love that unites families in times of uncertainty. She made the decision to take a hiatus from her real estate profession during this time in order to devote more time to her son, Bo. At the time, she thought her position as a mother was the most important thing. Shea was fortunate to have her husband, Terry E. Whitfield, by her side during the entire ordeal. Terry became her business and life partner in addition to providing emotional support. Terry entered the field that she had been in for a long time in 2012 after receiving his real estate license. Together, they founded Homes Sold by Shea and Terry, a new company. Terry took over and kept the company operating while Shea was unable to work. Love, trust, and dedication were the cornerstones of their relationship. She expressed gratitude to Terry for filling in, juggling work and family, and supporting her during difficult times. She and Terry had modest joys outside of work. They began posting cooking videos and trying out new dishes on Instagram as part of a series called Tasting Tuesday. It was more than just food. It was about spending time together, appreciating the little things in life, and demonstrating that even in difficult circumstances, life is better enjoyed with others. Shea kept up a close relationship with her partners on the Bargain Block show in the meantime. Keith's ability to perceive promise in dilapidated environments was something she admired. She also admired Evan's woodworking abilities and his capacity to realize Keith's vision. Shea understood the value of her contributions to the team, including her familiarity with Detroit, real estate background, and understanding of fair pricing. Recalling that she had been a real estate agent since 2004, Shea often reflected on her experiences. She admitted that Detroit had shaped her and that she knew every neighborhood, viewing them as lively communities with distinct histories rather than just streets and blocks. In everything she said and did, her passion for her city was evident. Regarding Shea Hicks-Whitfield, What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comments section. For more celebrity gist, like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you liked this video. Watch the other videos on your screen before you leave.